Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have the blank, which is great, but I also have some high-scoring tiles, so I may not be bingoing. But could there be a bingo here? It is a balanced rack in terms of vowels and consonants. I have work as a component part of the word, with fit. Not seeing a 7 or 8 with that. So what if opponent changes? Well, I have walk, leaving fit. I don't think I can get rid of all of my high-scoring tiles. With a Y, I would have an IFY ending. What other component parts of words have combinations of these high-scoring tiles? Well, nothing that's suggesting a bingo. I have WOF as well. K, I feel perhaps slightly more bingo-y than the F. And certainly more flexible in terms of scoring with short words. Opponent taking a while with their opening move, and there it goes. So just 3 floaters to consider. I don't think the V's going to assist. How about the E? And I'm considering whether there is a bingo here. Not seeing anything with the E and the T. Again, I'm not seeing anything. So I do have a wok and woff spot. If I play woff, that has fewer hooks. Wok takes an E. And my holding back the K gives me a K spot. Well, just wondering if wok provides an F spot, which it does, but I don't think I'd be able to play it twice. So is this the play? Vet takes an E in front. I don't have one. Vet takes an O after it. So this is 28. This is 26. Tricky. I am going with wok for 30. And I have stifled. Will that play? Well, it certainly will at the moment, be in column 10 and in row J, and in column 5 because of EVET. Now, does stifled have an anagram? Okay, opponent plays. I am bingoing, column 10. EWED, not good, so stifled doesn't work in row K. It does work 1 square further on, which I think will be better than column 10 because it will get doubled. But I think column 5 is going to score the most. But what if the blank isn't an E? Well, it would certainly need to be a vowel. And O and A can go underneath the Z. So this rack with the blank as an A. Not seeing anything. And with an O. Again, not seeing a 7. So I'm going with stifled for 76. And, well, it's non-bingo-y, but I think this rack is reasonably good for 7 random tiles. I've got yay on my rack, and once I play off the Ys, what's left is bingo-y. Wow, good score for opponent. Just wondering if I had yay at the top, and I don't. I certainly would like to play off both Ys, if I can. They are very non-bingo-y. U takes an R and an S. EVET takes an R in front. Top takes an I under it. And wok takes an E. So yay is good, but is there any other way of playing off both Ys? I've got OY at the top here, but I don't like that. FY is good, but I can't get that to play twice. What about a play through AS, which gets the Y doubled? Not seeing anything. 16 minutes on my clock. Are there really no other double Y plays? And there's absolutely nowhere to play yay, even for a low score. So, well, what about playing yo down here? Rack-leave isn't terrible. I'm stopping opponent from scoring off the Z in row K. Of course, opponent can still play in row L. So this is 21. And this is 27. I'm going with the higher score. And I have Yeaning, which does play in column 10 because of woke. Wow, will that stay available? Yars takes an E in front, but Yoff not good, so I don't have that in column 2. Is there any other bingo lane? This walk hook is very attractive. And if opponent plays in row K, my Yeaning spot may be obstructed. I don't have any front hooks for OV. So what about the F? Not seeing anything beginning with that. But this is quite a nice rack. Oh, wow, fantastic bingo for opponent. And he certainly does scupper my Yeaning spot. Wow, that would have put me in a strong position. As it stands, I now trail. So anything through these floaters. What about the C? Nope, not seeing anything with that. How about the A? No, and the N. Well, do I have Nenny Guy? No, I don't. Well, something very similar to that is good. Nanny Guy. I thought it had alternative spellings. So, still nothing to go in front of OF. Now there is a really nice YAY spot, of course. What about a play beginning with I? Hang on a minute. Oh no, I thought I had Yeaning in column 11, but it just fails with one spot of IA. Otherwise, it works. Gosh, that would have been fantastic. So 14 minutes on my clock. I do need to play off G and Y and one of the N's. And leave a balanced rack. So I can play Yeen for 29, keeping Ing. Yeah, that looks fine, doesn't give too much away. I am going with this. So, not seeing a bingo, through an O I would have avoiding, but very few floaters on the board. Is there a 7 here? Wow, fantastic bingo for opponent, and that's back-to-back bingos. Amazing. Okay, so, and no floaters, but a new lane. Is there a 7 here? I don't think there is. Nope, not seeing one, so I need to, well, there's nothing particularly worth hanging on for, and I do have diving down here for 38 points. So I am going with this. Pretty good. Cornua's is good. Nowhere for that. AY does take a U. Canorus through an O. Nothing through top. 34 for opponents. Topek isn't with a C, it's with a K. Now, does Cornua's have an anagram? It does. Nacrus. Does that play? Yes, it does. Fantastic. I am bingoing. Where's the best spot? Use takes a T. I think there's only one spot for this. Nacrus for 74. And I trail by 26. And I don't have a great rack. The J is a good tile. It does go well with vowels, but this is a super unbalanced rack. Whatever I play, I'm going to be keeping an all-vowel rack leave. Is there anywhere good for the J? I have JEU in column 12, which isn't particularly good. Oh, wow, I've blocked Akaju through the C. That would have been fantastic. Through an I would have Ouija. Wow, and it's just floating vowels at the bottom. Okay, 26 for opponents. Gosh, would be so nice to have a J tripled and the word doubled, but I don't have such a play. And I'm not seeing anything in row A. Well, anything that gets tripled. I have Ajuga. But, well, of course, I have Geijo. And this is 36 points, and I'm not keeping any duplicates, so a 3-consonant pick could leave me in decent shape. Well, not bad. I draw 3 consonants. Okay, so what do I have? Opponent surely attracted to this J, and there's a floating S on the board. Wow. Do I have something through that S? Well, opponent does. Outraised, using a ton of vowels. So great play by opponent. Is there a 7 here? Wow. I don't think there is. Floating J. Not seeing anything. Floating R. Well, there's Euroland, Unloader, and Euro DLAN. Wow, none of those work. What a shame. 13 tiles in the bag, including some pretty grim ones. Outraise takes a D, so I do have a nice spot. If only I had a 7 here, I could score a big score. But I'm not seeing one. So 13 tiles left. Is this the right thing to do? Or would it be better to still score a decent amount, but keep decent tiles? A, E, and N. No N's, only one A and only 2 E's. So this is a good rack leave. 7 vowels out of 20, so vowel heavy rack leave is good. I'm creating a bingo lane. I'm leaving alone column 15 and column 14 as lanes. Row O is a lane. Row M is a lane. I hope I'm not missing an easy 7 or a hard 7 with Loudon plus an A. But I'm not seeing it if there is one. Are there any other lanes I didn't consider? So 9 minutes on my clock. Well, there are 7-letter lanes. in various spots, but I hadn't seen a 7, so really it's floating consonant. So what about the T? No, I didn't have an R for, or don't have an R for revet. I am going with Ludo. Well, I draw the Q. Can I get value from that? Through a U, I would have Guchin. Wow, if I had an M, I would have Korma in row B. This is actually quite a bad time to have the Q with all these hot spots around the board. I may have to dispense with the Q for a lowly score elsewhere. I trail by 48, but opponent's on turn, and he should get, with these big tiles left, should be able to get something tripled and a decent score. So where can I play my Q? No S's to come. I do have Chin at the bottom. Grade only 24 for opponent. Well, I'm sort of wincing because Chin is blocking a lane, only scoring 20 points. It's not creating a new one. There already is a lane in row M. But is there really nowhere better? And Chi would definitely be better than Chin because I'd be keeping a useful consonant. I could play just a Q here, stopping opponent from scoring heavily in row B, and I do have the final N, and there are no S's or blanks to come. Only 11 points. Is there anywhere for an ing word? Well, there is. Row O could end ing. So I am attracted to this. I'm not going to be able to play off Q and E. Are there any U's on the board? In out race, but that's going to block bingo lanes. The U of Nacrus, not seeing anything through that. So that's 3 U's. There's another one out there somewhere. That's not available. And anywhere for, well, what about QI here? 2 I's to come, but 26 points. Anywhere else for QI? I just feel 4 vowels in the rack leave. Not as good as 2. I could play QI and it. I think I do retain the I in order to have an ing word. I am going with this. And I draw a vowel, of course. So I don't think I do have a bingo here, and I now have no scoring tiles. I can play NE for 32 points. 6 tiles in the bag. So 4 tiles in the bag. So I think I do play NE. For 32. I do need a bingo to catch opponent, but I also need to score well this turn, and this is the only spot I can do that. I am going with this. And I draw more vowels. Good grief. Plus an H. So I am a million miles away from a bingo, so this game is beyond me. So what to do here? Well, 2 tiles in the bag. Opponent may empty the bag. I have AH, top left, for a decent score. And opponent can't play in that spot. Great, just 20 for opponent. He has emptied the bag. He's got TORR. He can play that in column 14 and in row M. So this is my last move. And I don't think I'm going to do better than 40 points. So a couple of spots for opponent, and there could be others. Yeah, opponent does find one of his outs. And the final score, 423 for me, 487 for opponent, a winning margin of 64 points. So well done to opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Very high scoring, both of us over 400. And I lose. So it was opponent to go first. And plays vet. My rack. I have this. And walk I7. Yeah, that was my play. Opponent's rack. Plays Zep. And I have stifled and no other words available. C5. Yep, that's where I played it. Wow, missed bingo. Suffixal F3. Gosh, not sure if I would have found that. Doesn't look like a rack which would go well with an F. And opponent plays foe. Now, this was a rack I struggled with. I wanted to get rid of both Ys. Couldn't find a way of doing that. Yeen, column 3 for 28. What do? I play Oi in the same spot for one fewer point, and I think AEINY is definitely, well, more than 1 point better than IOY, and probably quite a few more points. So how would I value these? IOY, pretty grim. Each of these is of negative value and goes further into negativity. So I would say that's between -5 and -10. AEINY. AEIN likely to be positive. Y drags it back a bit, but does have some scoring potential. So I think that would be close to 0, but I think there could be at least a 5-point difference in rack lead values. So I think Oi is the better play. Now, great rack for opponent. Plays candies as a double-double. Doesn't. Plays candies for 73, but K5 could have played it as a double-double, or could have played Cassian's as a double-double, getting value from the Z for over 100 points. Now, this is where I tried Nenigai. It came off. No bingo, and I play Yeen for 29, and no more points available. Great spot by opponent. 93-point back-to-back bingo with Hornlet, and now I trail by 100. I play diving. No bingo available. Opponent with a lot of vowels. Plays teas. And now I have some hope. I come back into the game with Nacrus and trail by 26. Opponent plays Grime, and now I have this dreadful pick. And I play Gageo for 36. Great rack for opponent, and he finds his bingo. And I'm a bingo behind, and I have this rack which does look promising. But no bingo here. A1, oldie, that's nice. 2/3 of a bingo in terms of score. Yeah, that would have taken me to 362. And that's playing O, Loof, Dryas, and N. So what do? I play Ludo for 30, 20 fewer points, creating a lane. And look at this, opponent did have a D for outraised, so if I'd made that fancy oldie play, opponent could have played wild for a decent score. As it is, he plays Dow for 24. Now, this is, I think, where I begin to lose hope. Well, not so much hope, but just from a pure probability point of view, my likelihood of winning the game from this point really crash when I draw the cue. There's just nowhere for it. Only 7 tiles left. G'ing, that's quite nice, 36 points, but it still leaves me trailing by 40, so I really need to bingo. Chin for 30, L3. Yeah, I did briefly consider that, but with 2 eyes unseen, it was inviting opponent to score 30 back and take out a bingo lane. So I took the lower score, really needing a bingo to win, but I think maximising my chances of getting a bingo. Opponent plays Ab. Could have had Jill Bab for 46. And no bingo for me. What do? I play Knee for 32. Yeah, no higher score available, and I think that's fine. Nice play by opponent of Blimp for 20, but L2 could have played it, making Zap and Tie and M for a much bigger score. My final rack, and I play R for 40. And opponent finally has Tor, but also has its anagram Rort for slightly more points in the same lane. So, what a game. Absolutely cracking fun. Opponent got off to a reasonable start and put some daylight between him and me with some back-to-back bingos of Candies and Hornlet. I came back into the game with Nacrus, but opponent's bingo of Outraised again gave him a good lead, which I was unable to close. So many congratulations again to opponent on his victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.